Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now, this video is going to be me sharing with you the top 3 realizations that have really changed my life, that have really allowed me to see things from a new point of view. And I think they can be very empowering, and that if you were to at least start to entertain these ideas, it could really expand your awareness in a powerful way. Now, these are going to be some things that I've experienced, also things that I've noticed, like being able to really observe it in other people, but also myself. And the first one has to do with this idea. And the idea behind this is that all truths are true. Now, what this means is that whatever we believe to be true will always be reflected back to us. Evidence of it being true will be reflected back to us. We'll get the kind of experiences that kind of mimic that level of thinking. And because of that, it's the idea that our beliefs are creating our reality. So whatever we believe to be true most strongly is going to be what we see reflected back to us in life. So the powerful part of this is understanding that what may be true for me, like my beliefs about what reality is, may be completely different than another person, but it doesn't mean that that person's beliefs are wrong. It just means that that beliefs are that person's, the way they think. And just like mine are the way that I think. So they are true for me, and that person's belief may be true for them. This was something that I came to really understand and experience when I was doing forensics debate in high school. Because when I would do it, one thing I would notice was that for the tournaments, I would have to do an affirmative case and a negative case for the same one topic. Then I would go to tournaments and go against different people, and maybe doing 4 rounds or 5 rounds in a day before finals, I would go affirmative, negative, negative, affirmative. I didn't get to pick each round which one I was, so I had to write cases for both sides. One thing that I really came to understand though was that I would almost not necessarily shift my beliefs, although sometimes that did happen, but maybe I was strongly feeling one way before I did the research, and then it would shift my perspective the other way. And I had to really sell the ideas because I was debating it, so I had to really adopt that mind state when I was doing the debate. And it really made me understand that anything can be seen from any perspective, and anything can be rationalized from any point of view. And from that, I was able to really see this idea, and it kind of loosened up what I believed, and that's why my opinions of what I thought really began to loosen up from that time going forward. And it became very obvious to me that it depends upon our perspective, dependent upon how we see the world, and then we'll always get reflected back to us those ideas. Now, another example is sometimes I'll go into work and I work a sales commission job. So I only get paid a percentage based upon what I sell. Sometimes I will go into work and there'll be somebody that's already been there, and they'll tell me, I'll say, how's it going today? And they'll be like, oh, the customer's, it's not quality today, or something like that, whatever it is. And what I'll always do is I won't entertain the idea. What I'll do is I'll just assume that that might be their experience. But the funny thing is because I go into that mindset, and I know that it really doesn't have to be busy for me to have a good day. So even if it's slow, I can have that 1 or 2 quality customers that makes the day worth it. What I've learned is that if I come at it with a certain perspective or certain belief, that will a lot of times be what I experience. So I've learned to really tailor what I think to be true and what I don't think to be true for my own benefit. So realize that the beliefs that we have are being reflected back to us. So when we get to the core of what we believe to be true, that's when we really begin to take our power back. Now, the second one has to do with the idea of understanding that the only moment that really exists is this moment right now. I know I've talked about this in a lot of videos before, but it really has a lot of power because we can learn how to cultivate the emotion of what we want to feel now rather than waiting for some future event for us to give ourselves permission to feel fulfilled. So a lot of times we'll have goals and we'll want to and goals are a good thing. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm saying though that if we can learn how to generate the state from within, a lot of times what I think the power in that is we begin to literally rewire ourselves and train our nervous system to feel what it would feel like to have whatever we want. And it's almost then more likely we're gonna see those opportunities that'll bring us closer to the goal that we have. So it's about understanding that the only time we can experience experience the past or the future is through the mind. We see the idea of the past, we can remember it using our brain. We can see the idea of the future using our brain, but we don't actually experience the future. We can only experience this moment now, and the most powerful thing we can choose to do is to feel the emotions of what we want right now in this moment. And think about it, it's kind of funny. It's almost like we put sometimes our happiness on hold and we tell ourselves, once I obtain this, then we give ourselves permission to release the serotonin and dopamine in our brain to feel that good. But we could be feeling it right now, and we could still work hard to get what we want, but it's just a different mindset. It's a different understanding as to the power we have to generate the state from within. Now, the third most powerful realization I've come to understand is that I am not my ego. Like, my ego is not necessarily something I should fight or resist. It's more of something I've learned to allow, I've learned to observe. So this realization came from meditation. I remember that I was meditating and I was learning about it, and I was having a hard time at first because I was so focused on controlling my mind, like not letting those negative thoughts in. And the harder I would try to do that, the more it was like they would come even more, and it was like the fighting just made it worse. So what I learned how to do was to let those thoughts be there, observe them. And the funny paradox is that as I observed them, it was like I was observing them like I was at a park watching like a dog walk by. Just like observing it walk. I wasn't necessarily chasing it, just like my thoughts. I weren't chasing them down the rabbit hole. I was just observing them, just kind of walk by, flow through my mind. And as I began to do that, I began to detach from the negative thinking, and it was like those thoughts began to go away anyways. Then there's a state of being when you're in that observer mode that is totally different than reacting. It's like responding, and it's a completely different state of being. That's why I choose to meditate the first 20 minutes of my day right when I wake up, and the last 20 minutes of my day right before I go to bed. So the observer state gives us the ability to transcend the ego, to see the thoughts that come up, the habitual patterns. And as we begin to see those, we can really choose what we want into our life, and we can let go of what doesn't serve us. And the way we do that is by observing, because when we observe, we're neutral. We're not giving anything charge. Anytime we want something, we give it charge. Anytime we resist something, we give it charge. Just choose to be more in the either wanting side, which I know is debatable with the whole Eastern philosophy, or the neutral side. Don't become attached to the negative ideologies. Now, these have been the three most powerful realizations I've had. They have dramatically changed my life and the kind of things that I experience. I found that once I got to the core of my beliefs of what I believed to be true, and I began to change them from the inside out, which is a lot of what this channel is about, it's really made such a profound difference in my life. So I just wanted to share those three things with you guys. I hope that at some level they can help you understand more about who you are and the way that you think. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and as always, see you guys in the next video. Peace, much love.